Hi everyone, so this is your video on the syllabus for this course. Okay, so I'm going to try to focus on just giving you the essentials and then going into detail some of the more important things in the syllabus. I'm going to be skipping some of this for you to just look at it on your own time. It's not terribly important for me to talk about. It should be pretty self-explanatory, the things that I skip. Okay. So just really quickly, again, this is my email address, dlorenzo@obanzi.edu. This is the primary way I'd like you to contact me. You can use this phone number if you like, although I highly discourage it. But again, you can use it if you like. I will try to get back to you within 40 hours if you email me. I can usually do this quicker if it's not on a weekend. This textbook, Philosophy Here and Now, 3rd edition, you absolutely need this for the course. Go ahead and get it through the textbook website, get it through Amazon, get it through your preferred retailer, however you like to do it. You just need this in some way. Any other readings will be free through Canvas. If I do make a change to the syllabus, I will let you know. Usually the only times I make changes if I'm cutting things. I have never changed the syllabus in my several years of teaching. I've never changed the syllabus to increase the amount of work. I've always cut it, if anything. All right. So the course description here, this course provides an overview of the major fields of philosophy, including metaphysics, epistemology, logic, and ethics. Fundamental questions may include: what is the meaning of life? Does God exist? Are we free? What can we know? What makes a good argument? How should we live? These are all questions we will be talking about. Okay, and we'll get into more detail about all those questions once we get to the relevant weeks here. The course objectives and the course outcomes I'll let you look at on your own time. These should be pretty self-explanatory. If they're not, I won't be able to explain this to you anyway until we get later on in the course. But ideally, these are things that you should walk away from the course being able to do. College learning outcomes. This course should increase your critical thinking skills. This is what that means. It should also increase your communication skills. That's what that means. Okay, the grading scale. So this is pretty standard. 90 to 100% is an A, 89 is a B, and so on and so forth. The main thing I want to get to here is just rounding. All right, so for your final course grade, okay, so for your course grade, if you're below, if you're at a cutoff point, say 89.499%, I will round your grade down. You need to be at a 0.5% or above for me to round you up, okay? And again, this is for the final course grade, all right? And again, I talked through this right here, this little explanation, this little blurb here. For assignments and all that sort of stuff, I keep the decimal points. Okay, this is only when I'm calculating your final course grade. This is the breakdown of the grading for this course. So your participation is worth 300 points. The course out of 1,000, by the way. So you can think of all these as, this is 30%, right? So 300 over 1,000 is 30%. This is 14%, because they're 14% of your grade. Discussion board questions are 16%. Your written/oral assignments are 20%. Exams are worth 20%. There's 2 of them. Okay, oops. There's 2 of them. They're 100 points each. Extra credit, you can get up to 5% of your total course grade bumped up. All right. Couple things to note here. So as I said, there's 2 exams in this course. Ignore this one quantity here for extra credit. There's multiple attempts at extra credit. I just calculate all as one lump sum. Written or assignments, there's 4 assignments in this class. There's 4 discussion board questions. There's 7 quizzes, and this participation thing, this 4, don't really worry about it, okay? It's just, you get 75 points per week, basically, and that's how I determine your participation grade. And how we get into the nitty-gritty of all that, I will talk about momentarily. Okay, now I really want to get to how this course is formatted, how the class is structured. Okay, so this is an accelerated class. And that means you'll be filling the same sorts of requirements in a much shorter time than you normally would in a non-accelerated course, okay? What I mean by this is most classes in the fall and the spring, for instance, last 16 weeks. In the summer, it can vary. It's usually around like 8 weeks or so, okay? But the crucial thing to note is that whether you take a class in the fall, in the spring, or the summer, if it's a, say this class, a 3-credit introduction to philosophy class, they're all supposed to be equivalent. So whether you do the work in 16 weeks, whether you do it in 4 weeks, whether you do it in 8 weeks, you're doing the same kind of stuff to fulfill your course objectives and requirements as outlined by the college. So while I have adjusted some requirements to take into account time constraints, and some of the content has been altered to accommodate the shortened class to actually give you a reasonable amount of time to do things, you'll basically be doing the equivalent amount of work in this class that you would do in a non-accelerated course. So if I made this a 16-week course, you'd be in the same sorts of stuff. It's just to be spread out a bit more. So this is a lot more condensed, right? You really, really need to manage your time properly for this course. There really isn't that much room for procrastination, okay? If you have trouble with time management, this might be a very difficult course for you, okay? I have a suggested calendar on how I think you should approach the reading in particular, okay? So, and it's going to be all the way down here, and you can take a look at this link on your own time. It's going to pull up a Google Calendar, and the calendar will show you the day-by-day breakdown and how I think it would be wise, and I would highly, highly suggest you go about the reading, okay? So you can take a look at that. In general, you'll notice, I'm skipping a little bit, but in general, you'll notice we're tackling 2 topics a week. So this first week in the class, we're talking about the basic foundations of philosophy, and then we're talking about God and religion. The following week, we're talking about morality and the moral life and free will and determinism. And basically, the way I have the readings broken down in my suggested calendar is to say, okay, half the week you're doing this reading, the other half of the week you're doing this reading. And ideally, even though all the assignments for the week are due on the same days, and again, we'll look at this in more detail, I'll go a bit slower on this once we get down here. But even though the assignments are due on certain days, the idea is that, well, if you take half the week to read the basics foundations of philosophy stuff, and then you complete the assignment on that half of the week and the quiz, right? Then all you have to worry about for the remainder of the week is God and religion, and you can just fill the rest of the week up with that, and then you're good, and then you can move on to next week, okay? That's how I suggest you do things. You aren't required to do it like that. You are merely required to meet your due dates, but I highly, highly suggest that if you want to do well in this course, you spread things out over the week, okay? Let me go back up here. Anyway, this calendar also serves as a way for me to show you how I envision the course. I already said this already. And to sort of really bring this point home, although I already kind of talked about it, if this was an in-person course, which is not, but suppose it was, because the same sort of principle applies to the online courses as it does if you were to meet in a 16-week in-person fall course, spring course, whatever. For this course to be equivalent to the standard 16-week 3-credit course, it would roughly be as if you had a class that ran Monday through Friday for 2 hours a day, right? So that's kind of like the sorts of requirements for this class. It's kind of a lot in some ways, right? This isn't anything necessarily to scoff at, okay? But you can do it. You just need to be able to manage your time properly, okay? But I'm just telling you up front, it's going to be a little difficult if you don't manage your time properly, okay? If you do, it should be achievable, all right? So that's the sort of idea going on with this accelerated course. Again, I highly suggest you take a look at the calendar that I suggested that you follow, okay? And again, it's at the bottom of the syllabus, and you can take a look at that, okay? If you have any other questions on maybe how I would suggest you go about this class, I suggest you email me and maybe I can give you some more advice. This is an asynchronous class by and large. Another way of putting that is that by and large, we're not meeting as a class at any particular time. There is one little tiny exception to that, which I'll get to momentarily, but by and large, this is all on your own time. Okay, so again, you can do this how you like, but I highly suggest that you follow the calendar that I laid out. Okay, so the general format. Each week, you'll be tasked with a minimum of a set of readings, watching small video lectures, taking a quiz on the readings, posting on a discussion board, and assignment. The details for all that can be found on Canvas. I'll get to some of those in more detail momentarily here. If you have any problem at all accessing your email or Canvas, you need to tell me ASAP. Okay. This little blurb here about multiple ways of submitting things, which please read, but I don't really think I'm doing that much for this course. If I do, though, just follow directions for the assignments and you'll be fine, okay? I might ask you to turn something in via Canvas and also email me so I have an extra copy. Again, I don't really expect to be doing that in this course, but if I do, just follow the instructions, okay? And you will be all right. Attendance. Okay, attendance and participation are really sort of, they feed off of one another, okay? These two little blurbs are going to be explaining how it is I get this grade here. Okay, so for your attendance, Your attendance is determined by how often you log on to Canvas, whether you've watched the lecture videos or whether you attend the discussion board group meetings with me. I will get to what this means momentarily. Okay, how often you log into Canvas? Provided you actually do your assignments and everything in the course, this shouldn't be a problem for you. If you don't log into Canvas for, say, a week and you just start on week 2, your attendance grade will be negatively effective, but also you'll be having a bunch of late assignments, which I'll get to that policy momentarily. Okay. Whether you watch lecture videos, so the lecture videos are required material for you to watch. They are smaller segmented videos, so most of them are no more than 10 minutes long. There's going to be a few exceptions, but most of them are pretty short. Okay, that's really purposeful. I'll talk more about those in a moment here, and again, I'll talk about this in a second. Okay, so the late work and makeup policy, you can turn in late work. Okay, I encourage you to turn it. It's better than receiving a 0. All late work you receive all late work you turn in will receive half a letter grade penalty for each 24-hour period late. After either assignment, will receive a 0. Okay, this includes quizzes as well, and not exams. Exams, you can't turn those in late. You just need to turn those in when they're due. This includes quizzes. This includes discussion board things, and assignments, as I said already. So the way of thinking about this is, suppose there's an assignment due, so you're going to have an assignment due on the 11th. All right, it's going to be 11th at noon. So if you turn it in, say, on the 11th at 2 p.m., you will receive half a letter grade penalty, because that's part of the first 24-hour period that it'll be late. Then once it is the 12th, okay, you will receive another penalty, another 24-hour period, another half letter grade taken off. Okay. So that is how the late penalties work for this class. Your participation, this grade is determined by your online attendance, which I talked about up here. Your contribution or lack of contribution in discussion boards, your contribution or lack of contribution during our discussion board meetings, and the comments you make on my lecture videos. And again, we'll talk more about that once I get to the lecture video section. This is a typo. If your contributions are exceptionally valuable, I may boost your course grade by a third of letter grade at the end of the semester. So if you ask me lots of questions in the videos, and they're high quality questions, if you talk a lot during our discussion board meetings and so on, you may receive a third of letter grade boost at the end of the semester. The lecture videos. I'll be posting lecture videos on most of the material for the course. The material I do not cover in a lecture video will still be up to you to learn, but is usually the material that I suspect you'll catch on to without needing a video from me. The goals of these short lecture videos is to clarify, expand upon key takeaways in the text. Get the most of them. First, do the reading. This is a really crucial part. Do the reading first. Then watch the videos as a way to clarify things. Okay. I'm not assuming you have full understanding of the reading when I made these videos. Okay. I'm assuming that you did it and you gave it a decent attempt. And then I'm kind of clarifying the main things I want you to get out of it. Okay. This is the portion where I'm talking about commenting on the video. So think about commenting on videos as a like the online way of you raising your hand. Okay. So let me show you really quickly how to do that here. So if you go to our so if you go to our Canvas, this video here, this is not a video for the course, but if you go to let me go to our actual course here. Go to the course here, you'll be able to find the videos under the module section of the course. Okay, you'll see them once you get on the 6th. But anyway, ignore what I'm doing here at the studio thing here. The important thing is I'm going to show you how to comment on these videos. So again, this isn't a video for the course. This is just a random video I did for a different course a few semesters ago. So suppose you got at 3 minutes and 49 seconds in the video and you had a question. What you want to do is you'd want to go here, add a comment. You'd say whatever your comment is, and you just hit comment at that time, and I'll see that. Okay. Now, these comments, again, so these can take the form of a question. So you can ask me to clarify something I said. You can ask a question relating to the reading. when I'm talking about it in that time of the video. You can just make a remark, like if you think that some argument I'm giving, say, is problematic, or you think it's actually a really good argument, or whatever. That's the purpose of commenting on these videos. Okay. It's worth noting that although commenting on the videos does go towards your participation grade, you do not need to comment on every video. If you comment at least once per chapter of videos, you receive full points. And what I mean by chapter videos is, so again, you're going to have videos on each topic, multiple videos. So there's going to be, there'll be, I believe, I'm kind of losing count here. I think there was like 9 videos currently on the God and Religion topic. Okay. And so the idea is that if you put a comment on one of those 9 videos, that will give you your commenting participation points. Or if you put one comment on the Morality and Moral Life videos, however many videos of those there are, I think there's like 10 or something, that will go towards your participation for that. Okay. You do not need to comment. You can if you want. It cannot hurt you, but you're not required to do so. All right. Your written or oral assignments, you're going to have 4 assignments for this course. The details for these assignments can be found on Canvas. For now, don't worry too much about this. These assignments really, they're pretty self-explanatory. They're not meant to be terribly difficult. They are typically either writing focused if you do the written version, or if you do the oral version, which you will not need to worry about for the first week of the course. I'll say more about this as we get into the second week of the course. The oral version is just a slightly modified version of the written assignment, except you'll be talking with me, and the criteria for grading is slightly different. But again, we'll get into this as the time approaches. Okay, this will be quizzes on Canvas. The idea behind these quizzes is to check to see how well you understood the reading. I'm not expecting a total mastery of the reading in these quizzes. Really, these quizzes are just checking to see if you did them. And of course, you are free to use your notes or the book on these quizzes. I won't tell you don't have to. You can if you want. And these quizzes aren't timed, although I highly suggest you just do the reading and then do the quizzes. Because if you do the reading and then do the quizzes, it'll be a lot quicker than attempting to just skip the reading and then do the quizzes. And if you skip the reading and try to do the quizzes anyway, you're going to be suffering in other portions of the course. Okay. But again, these will be found on Canvas. They're all multiple choice or true false. Okay. And you have as much time as you want to complete them. Okay. Although there are due dates. So you can take an hour if you want to take the quiz, but they're going to be due at a certain day. Okay. The discussion board questions are maybe a bit different from how you're used to doing discussion board questions in classes. Okay, so here's how this works basically. Okay, so you can read this on your own time, but I'll just explain to you what's going on with this. Okay, so here's what's going on with this. So I'm going to jump over to, let's see, to our course. I'm going to show you what's going on here. So you see this little tab right here. So you want to click on this discussion tab. This will bring you to discussion board. Currently, so you're going to see more. Your screen's going to look a little bit different from mine, but you're going to be seeing more discussion boards crop up as the weeks go on. Okay, so I haven't copy and paste all the information into these other discussion boards for later on, but as of now, so for this first week, we're going to have a God discussion board. Okay, and the way these work is when you go to this discussion board thing, you'll click on the God discussion board, and again, you'll see on the syllabus here, I have discussion board 1 due for God and Religion. So that's just referring to this thing on Canvas here. You'll click on this, and what's going to happen is, again, your screen will look a little bit different from mine, but you'll be put in a group with about 6 of your other classmates, and you'll either see this pop up for your God discussion board 1, God discussion board 2, God discussion board 3, God discussion board 4. Okay, you'll see only one of these. You will not see all of these. Okay, and what's going to happen is you'll see one of these. You'll click on the links. Let's just click on, say, suppose you got put in God discussion board 3. It's random what you get put into. Okay, there's going to be some instructions here. Okay, and what you're going to do is each group. So this is group 3. Each group is going to have a particular question that they need to answer. Okay, it's going to be right here. And so, for instance, I'm part of group 3. I'm going to answer only this question here because that's what's assigned to groups 3 and 4. And again, I have more written instructions right here on how this works. Okay. So if you have any questions on this, let me know, but first refer to these instructions here. You'll answer this question. Okay. I outlined here what makes a good answer. Okay, so you answer this question. Now, although you're broken into groups, do not think of this as group work necessarily. You can work together if you want, but you're not required to do so. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again. This is not necessarily group work. You can work on it together, but you're not required to do so. You can think of this more as a individual